back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Monday edition of the Power Hour. Yes, sometimes we all do go to extremes, and maybe we need to. I don't know. This is the Monday edition of the Power Hour. This is Dave.
And Joyce, thank you for joining us in the Power Hour today. We're talking about the financial implications of the alleged possible when pigs fly swine flu. We're talking to our guest today, Bob Chapman. His phone number to get a copy of his newsletter, 877-479-8178, or go to theinternationalforecaster.com. Bob, if you were to make a guess, I mean, do you think that I noticed the Hong Kong market, at least when I checked it last night, the Hang Seng was down about 398 points. Do you think that because Hong Kong has already had a previous little problem with the bird flu, that perhaps we might start seeing something, or SARS, that we might start seeing some real, unstable markets?
Well, it's possible, but because Hong Kong has experienced it, their reaction would be, quote, more violent in the sense that, say, gee, this is really going to upset things, and we better get on the sidelines. And so, that would account for that market being down the way that it was as opposed to others. It could and might for a couple of weeks affect markets, but markets are overbought anyway on a technical basis, so they should all go down at least 50% from of the gain that they made here in the last 2 months. One of the things I wanted to bring out, and I don't know that you've covered it earlier because I wasn't listening to your broadcast, but did you know that one of the main shareholders in Tamiflu was Mr. Rumsfeld?
Oh yeah, we covered that he was he was president of Gilead Sciences for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Prior to his becoming the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, he did make quite a bit of money off of this, and I think that as an adjunct to what's going on, I think too it's in an effort to enrich him, having him in the position that he's in or has been. He still owns some stock.
Yeah, I mean, what qualifications does he have to run a pharmaceutical company? Well, he was involved back in the 1980s with the introduction of when he was with another company, and he was involved in the sale of biologicals to Iraq. So all of this stuff is, they protect the guys who don't tell where the bodies are buried. And if you stay a good guy to them, then you'll get rewarded along the way, just like Admiral Crowell, who got to be involved in the Bioport vaccines for the military. I mean, it seems like the bad guys always get somehow rewarded later on.
And then you have the Kellermans.
The Kellermans.
David Kellerman, acting CEO of Freddie Mac, who first we found that by news that he had shot himself to death, and then later on we found that he had hung himself to death.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in a position, having worked 16 years in Freddie Mac, to know where all the bodies were buried. And he must have been making noises that I don't want to do this anymore. And there's a question of $50 billion missing, and there's all kinds of rumors about that. Nobody knows the whole story yet, but this is the way that they treat people who don't cooperate.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't think that this man just decided...
It's the opposite of what you were just saying about Admiral Crowe and others like him.
As long as they toe the line and remain a good guy, they get rewarded with further and, more and more cabinet positions or whatever. I mean, just like they brought all these people out of the closet, the Clinton closet, moved them into positions of power now. And these guys are not the people that call the shots. These are the people that just simply do the photo ops for the people that call the shots.
Well, you're absolutely right. And it's like a machine, and they keep on staffing bureaucratic positions in Washington with people who are with the Council on Foreign Relations, et cetera. And so it's just like a revolving door. Team A comes in for Team B. and we have no control over our government anymore, nor our court system. And a good example of that is the Tea Parties that went on here a week ago, and we have all kinds of reports coming out about the FBI tracking people and spying on them who are going to these Tea Parties.
We're going to be right back after this 3-minute break. We will be back with Ted Anderson to see what's going on in the gold and silver markets, and then we'll be back with our guest, Bob Chapman. Stay tuned, and in the third hour, the British Jim Percy. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Monday edition of the Power Hour. Coming up on 34 minutes past the hour, whatever hour you're sitting in, and you would not be hearing all of these news stories about pharmaceutical companies or corporations and stuff like that if we were taking corporate sponsorship. And that means we rely on you people out there to keep us up and running. Thank you for being members of the Power team. This is Dave.
And Joyce, thank you for joining us in the Power Hour today. And I want to remind you that we have a book called Surviving Martial Law. Now, this is not to get everybody all scared that this is what this is going to be, but who knows? There's a gentleman who has come from the inside who's written a book called Surviving Martial Law and from Special Forces. And I think you'll find it most interesting as to how to handle yourself should this occur. I mean, we've never experienced it before. We don't know what to do. And that's what he has done, is he's put together a book about this very subject, and it's only $10 at the Power Hour. Also, let me remind you that with Mother's Day and Father's Day coming up, if you are interested in a really incredible gift, I mean an incredible gift, a salt lamp. They are the most beautiful items that we have at the Power Hour. And the salt lamps stay alive in your room. They give off negative ions, which is a really good thing to combat the positive ions. We have the mini, small, medium, large, the candle holder. There's a heart, pyramid, horse head, buffalo, egg-shaped cross. They are just gorgeous. So call 877-817-9829 or go to thepowermall.com. And don't forget, we have organic raw almonds now and pistachios. Now, these are the good guys. These are not contaminated with anything at all. And I think if you like pistachios, you are going to love these, as well as the almonds. They are excellent. So call 877-817-9829 or go to thepowermall.com. We're going to go now to Ted Anderson, who's president of Midas Resources and also of Genesis Network, and find out what's going on in the metals market today as a result of all of this chaos. Is it real or is it Memorex? Remember, we've got 20 people sick, not one in the hospital, but we've declared it a global pandemic, almost a global pandemic in the making. Ted Anderson, welcome to the Power Hour this morning.
Well, thanks for having me up, Joyce, and you're right about that. I don't know what I'm more afraid of, is catching the flu or the martial law that's going to follow behind it. They sure are raising a big fuss about this thing. I mean, I hate to see anybody dying. It sounds like the numbers are reaching 100, but... No,
nobody's died yet in the United States. This is all maybe stuff. Nobody's died yet.
Well, I heard in Mexico they've had a few people.
Yeah, they say that. And that may be very true, but we've got not one person has even been admitted to a hospital here in the United States. And yet you've got Homeland Security announcing, get scared, panic, panic. It's just incredible. It is incredible what they're doing. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But it is causing panic in the markets, though, I think, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously so. I mean, if we have a pandemic here in the United States, the markets are going to be turned on its head, and especially if we have a tremendous amount of people dying. The thing about it is it gives the president the authority to come in with another executive order or declare martial law. It puts more power in the hands of the government, and that just makes me nervous. I mean, it makes me nervous that someday in the future they're going to come and turn shows off like this one, just because of some martial law or a presidential order or whatever. But just getting back to the gold and silver. I mean, obviously, gold and silver is looking really hot right now. I mean, you have Chrysler and GM. I mean, GM right now is a announcing that they're going to close down Pontiac completely, like it'll be gone. Chrysler's, on the edge of bankruptcy. There's just so many things that are happening out there, and we certainly haven't come out of the woods financially in the economic situation. So, but the really hot item right now, Joyce, is that Lakota coin. I mean, there are so many people that are so fed up with the Federal Reserve System and the monetary system that we have that they're willing to jump on this Lakota coin just to fly
wonderful.
it. I mean, it is. It's kind of like flying the bird to the Federal Reserve.
In your face.
Exactly, and that kind of makes me smile. I know it makes you laugh, and
yeah,
and I mean, so more power to it. It's a great way to get into silver because it's so close to the melt value of silver. You're buying a 1 ounce round, but at the same time,